Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Ryan Adams there, and you're with Destination Newry, the morning show. And this, of course, is Tuesday. This, of course, is the Democrat Day. This, of course, is Patrick Ryan, the editor of the Democrat. You're most welcome, Patrick.
How are you, Rowan?
Where are you taking us in the paper today?
Well, first of all, Rowan, the big story everybody's talking about is the planning complex that has been given planning permission down in Carnbean Way. So late last week it was announced that a £47 million development had been given the green light. Now, what's unusual about this is that the proposal had been on the table maybe 2009, 5 years ago, and nobody had heard anything since, and then almost out of the blue, then it was announced on Friday that it had been given the go-ahead. Now, this has been met, I suppose, a divided response really, but the Chamber of Commerce in Newry and Deborah Loughran, the president there, she came out strongly against it, saying it's going to be very detrimental to the city centre retail at a time when city centre retailers are already feeling pressure.
It split the politics as well. Sinn Féin is opposed to it. SDLP is for it.
Yeah, no, Sinn Féin, I suppose, our MP for the area, Conor Murphy, he's come out saying more or less the same message that Deborah Loughran saying, that I think his exact words were that it has a potential to suck the life out of the city centre, and you know that is an issue, because you know I know myself from leaving work on a Monday night sometimes or during the night time, Hill Street can be very quiet, but then it has that whole area of, you know, that I suppose a city, then progress comes with that, so it's probably a double-edged sword. On the other hand, people are saying that it's going to create jobs, it's going to, you know, boost the local economy as well. So I suppose it is a case of wait and see, but at the same time, the Chamber of Commerce and Conor Murphy, you know, are both strongly against it.
I think Loughran and others are saying that similar jobs could have been created with a build in the heart of Newry rather than the outside of Newry. And Fergal was saying, Fergal McCormack, who just moments ago, he was saying that Belfast is setting the pattern of more and more happening within the Belfast metropolis. Yeah. So Newry's not doing that, but Belfast might be a good example to follow.
Yeah, I think it's called donut towns, isn't it? The model where everything is kind of like a
circuit.
Yeah, like a satellite.
Almost like a space station.
Almost.
With a circling, and then the middle, nothing.
Yeah, well,
let's hope we don't become a sort of a starship experience.
Definitely not.
Where else were we going?
Well, another story on the front page is Shawneen Smith from Balik.
Shawneen Smith is such a wonderful human being.
She is.
Coming through so much.
She's a real inspiration, considering she's 22 years old. She's had a number of debilitating illnesses. And doctors, consultants they're still left scratching their heads at this stage. She's had a number of strokes as well. But she has had an ordeal that I suppose most people wouldn't. I don't know where she gets the strength and courage from. She truly is an inspirational young woman.
You have a double-page spread on it inside as well, recognising her courage.
Brian Hyland spoke to her and her mother there during the week, and Shawneen was honoured at the Spirit of Northern Ireland Awards last Friday night, I believe, where she won the award. So, and no better woman to win it. It totally deserved.
And amazingly, she was able to say, and she was quoted in the paper saying that she was able to tell her mum that she no longer fears death.
Yes,
if that were to come.
That's just remarkable.
Remarkable.
That level of strength.
And she looks so beautiful and so healthy.
She's beautiful.
She's vivacious. She's strong. It looks good. All we can do is hope that things will work out, and the folk who surround her and who are close to her, family and friends, continue to raise funds. Because if we can get her over to London for treatment there, things could improve.
Absolutely.
Maybe,
Absolutely.
Okay, Patrick. Where are we next?
Well, let's see. Another issue we have is there's going to be a festival of redheads.
Where is that? That's going to be out in Balik or something?
In Forkhill.
In Forkhill.
In 2 weeks' time. So It's a bit. I suppose it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek event,
Yeah,
but at
yeah.
the same time, anything that can put a smile on people's faces and a bit of
Yeah.
crack, sure.
And tourism, people coming
Absolutely,
in.
yeah.
Redheads of the world unite, and we want you in South Armagh. If it's a grey-haired one, I can go for it.
Oh, so-
but I once had hair the colour of yours, Patrick.
I'm not that far behind your own, to be honest.
Very far, yeah. Okay, Festival of Redheads coming
Yeah.
along. Yes.
Yeah, it was, well, another thing I wanted to talk about was in sport, because I've supposed to be coming on this show now and speaking about Down.
Oh yes.
For the last 3 or 4 weeks, so it's only fair that we give our neighbours in Armagh a shout there in
Yes.
action on
Sunday.
Sunday against Cavan at home. So it's a very winnable game, and
Yeah. Where is home for the Armagh
well,
team? Are they
the athletic grounds
in Armagh.
in Armagh,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So wish them all the best, and hopefully they can do
Absolutely.
the business and put
Absolutely.
a smile on people's faces.
Doubtless your Stevie Malone will be there, your editor.
Oh, he will. He'll
be there.
He'll probably be the first one there. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he's got a seat already.
Ah, indeed,
He's that keen,
indeed,
but,
indeed. This week in Rowan's Rambles, my column with you, I deal with it's amazing what you hear if you open your ears and say nothing. And all of the comments at the counts of the election kept dripping down on my consciousness. And fundamentally it was, the politicians saying it was an insult to politicians that so few people turned out on the day to vote. And other people were saying, well, it's your own fault, it's a comment about the standard of candidate, blah, 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 blah. But significantly in your paper today, Conor McCreevy, who went out at the election,
yeah.
Conor, in true Conor McCreevy style, is back saying, I will return. He's not beaten. He's down, but he's not out.
No, absolutely. He's a very ambitious young man. To be honest, I thought he quite impressed me now as a councillor when he was in office. But then, I suppose with elections, things come into play, like I suppose how the party handles the wider vote, when the transfer of votes, etc. So it's not as straightforward as some people might think.
I think, like the law, democracy can be an ass. And in the case of Conor McCreevy, because he was one of the best people we had up there on the hill, and he demonstrated that on numerous occasions. He came in here and talked the economy and talked his vision for the future.
Yeah.
And it's so good to see that he's not beaten, that he's going to be there in the future.
Yeah, well, people have put now, I suppose, compared it to Gary Stokes.
Gary's back.
Gary was
Son of John.
Very much a progressive local councillor.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had a lot of time for him. Very impressive man. Didn't get in 2011, but here he is now back in office. So it shows you.
I would almost see, and maybe it's too soon to say this, but I would almost see, and I'm reading in between the lines, Conor McCreevy, I would almost see him splitting from the SDLP, because there's an implied criticism in his piece in the paper, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he went independent. But anyway, that's a thought for the future.
There are no surprises in politics.
Indeed. Right, where are we going next?
Just when I had that story, we had
Mayor's Ball.
the Mayor's Ball. Yes, it was
Wow.
a as you would expect, I suppose a glamorous and
Yes.
razzmatazz was I suppose
Razzmatazz par
the
excellence,
phrase
I
of
would
the
say.
night. Yeah, plenty of pictures there from it. Everybody suited and booted. So
Yeah. And it's
Mayor Michael Rowan just I suppose coming towards the end of his year in office now.
Yes.
I think he's been an excellent ambassador for the district.
He has.
He's done a great job, and he fully deserves, I suppose, to get all the praise he can get because of what he's done for the area.
Yeah. And it's an historic enough Mayor's Ball because there will never be another one. There'll never be a Newry and Mourne Mayor's Ball ever again because it's now the new council area.
Yeah, that's. I suppose there's other questions that come with that as well.
Indeed.
But I suppose that's a whole other conversation.
Okay,
Yeah.
take us on then.
Yes, Rowan. Another story that I liked now was Richard Moore, who started the charity Children in Crossfire.
We had him in last week talking, sitting where you're sitting. Great fellow.
Yeah,
Great
he's
human being.
he's launching an event now in Newry later in the month. So, and he was here last week speaking to our journalist Ralph Hewitt. It's an extraordinary. He's an extraordinary
Huge man, blinded by a rubber bullet in his childhood. Never a moment's bitterness in his life.
It would so to be honest, it would have been so easy for him to be, I suppose, entrenched in bitterness and despair. But yet he's he's turned his life round, and he's given so much to everybody else. And
right.
again, I suppose not unlike what we were saying about Sean Smith.
Yeah.
People, like, we all take our health for granted, and we go through life and we moan about the most mundane things, and yet they hear people like Sean Smith and Richard Moore are, and who do have real problems, and they're fantastic. I have to say, I have to take my hat off to them.
Well done to them. Okay, are we almost there? What
well, another story as well is that it's kind of an ongoing thing, is the Greencastle to Greenore ferry plan.
And the residents are opposed to it, or some of them anyway.
Yes. This is something now that's been on the table for many a year since I started really with the Democrat, 14 years ago.
My God.
I know, but they're still debating this. There's a bit of anger from the residents that they're not being fully made aware of what's happening, and you know yourself, Rowan, when it comes to planning decisions, that sometimes the residents and the local people feel that the decision's already been made and they're just being patronised. But just when we're talking about Greencastle, Rowan, I'm conscious of time, so I won't keep rambling on.
Oh, you're fine.
I suppose the people of Greencastle had a bit of a a shock last week when they seen the BBC series The Fall filming there. So Jamie Dornan.
Someone told me he was in something called 50 Shades of Grey, which is a slightly raunchy bit of literature.
Well, I can honestly say no, I've never read it.
I can honestly say I have never read it. In fact, I wrote it.
I thought it was based on you, but
yeah, based on my life and times.
No, but
digest.
Jamie Dornan, he was a star of it. He was down there, so I think to say he's a hit with the ladies would be a bit of an understatement. But so did a bit of a Hollywood A-lister in the making there. So
they were there filming.
And Gillian Anderson as well, from used to be in the X-Files. I think he was co-star.
Yes.
So bit of glamour there on the coast.
We'll see you next week. Yeah,
absolutely.
Listen, thank you very much indeed.
No,
God bless you. Go well. Take care.
My pleasure.
Answer some music, please.